In normal day-to-day life, when dealing with normal people, when people seem to misunderstand you or maybe do something that upsets you, it's very normal to want to talk to that person, to communicate, to solve the problems. And this is just a normal instinctive behavior that all of us are going to experience. But with narcissists, this is exactly the wrong thing to do. And in today's video, I'm going to explain why you really can't talk to narcissists. Welcome to Looking Behind the Mirror, where we explore narcissism and take our lives back as we make sense out of nonsense. As a quick disclaimer, everything I say is based on my opinions and my personal experiences. I'm not a professional, and if you're really struggling, I encourage you to seek professional help. I am providing links below for you. Now, before I get started on this video, I have a really important piece of business to attend to, and that's, I just need to show you Marshall taking a nap behind me. He usually runs off when I start my videos, so he must just be super tired today. It's a snowy, rainy day, and he's so cute. So he's probably gonna run off in the middle of this video, so I had to show him to you. I'm just gonna break this video down into little segments that explain different reasons why you really can't talk to narcissists. So the first reason I'm gonna go over is narcissists aren't listening. You really can't talk to somebody that isn't listening to you, and narcissists already know everything that they need to know. There is no new piece of information that you could possibly give them that's going to be worth anything to them. There's nothing you can say that's going to influence them in a way that's going to benefit you at all. The only thing that you could possibly say to them that would influence them is something that would be something they can use against you, something they can manipulate you with. That's the only thing that they're listening for, possible weapons to use against you. As far as the things you're trying to communicate to them, the confusions you're trying to clear up, the feelings you're trying to explain, they are not listening to you. Mostly because they don't care what you have to say, and also because, as I've said in other videos, they feel threatened by people that are trying to teach them anything. Anything at all. If you have information you're trying to share with them in order to help them make decisions in a better way, to them that feels like a form of control. Like you're better than them somehow because you think you're so smart that you know something they don't know that they need to know. So you really can't share any new information with them that they are going to listen to. On top of that, narcissists hear what they want to hear. They already have decided who you are, how you feel, what you think, what you're supposed to do, what your motives are. So anything that you say is not going to change their minds. In order for them to change their mind about what you already think or feel or want or whatever your motives are, they would have to humble themselves a little to be able to admit that they're wrong. And they're not going to do that because they're narcissists. So, for example, if they imagine that you're an angry, treacherous person and you're trying to get back at them for something, but really you're just hurt and you're trying to communicate and you're trying to bridge a gap because you care about the relationship, they aren't going to hear that. They're not going to see that. They're not going to consider it. They already, quote, know that you're an angry, treacherous, vengeful person. They already know that. There's nothing you can say that's going to convince them otherwise. And everything you say is just going to be more proof that you're angry, treacherous, and vengeful. Even if you say something like, I love you so much and I love the relationship that I have with you and I care so deeply and I just really, really want to be able to communicate with you because it hurts me so much that we don't seem to be able to communicate and I care about you and I want you to be happy. You could be saying stuff like that and all they're going to hear is, I really hope you fall for all this. This is all an act. I'm just trying to trick you. I'm manipulating you. I don't really love you. I'm just saying that because I need you to do what I want you to do. And they're going to hear whatever they want to hear. And so even if you say stuff like that, it's still proof to them of what they already, quote, know. So there's nothing you can say to a narcissist that's going to make them realize anything or look at anything from a different angle. So it's really just a waste of time to talk to them about anything that has substance to it. In addition to that, talking to narcissists is just an opportunity for them to further confuse and manipulate you. And that's really all it is. It is never an opportunity to communicate. It's never an opportunity to truly solve any problems. From the narcissist's perspective, every time you open the door of communication, you're really just saying, hey, if I was starting to have a clear mind, if I was starting to look at things in a realistic way, here's an opportunity for you to come and confuse me again, to gaslight me again. Here's an opportunity for you to convince me that I'm the one in the wrong, that I'm the bad guy, and that you're just really a poor innocent victim and that I need to try harder. I'm opening the door of communication so that you can further convince me of how wrong I am. That's really all you're doing when you engage with a narcissist, especially if you're in a stage of the relationship in which you're trying to break away from the relationship or you're giving ultimatums or anything like that. Engaging with the narcissist is just an opportunity for them to further confuse you. It is not an opportunity for you to communicate with them. And I think that this is especially important to keep in mind when you think that they're confused. For instance, when they accuse you of hating them, or they accuse you of never having loved them or cared for them, and it's because of something you said, and you think, oh my gosh, they totally misunderstood me. I have to explain, I do care about them. I didn't mean it that way. They took it the wrong way. They're confused. I have to clear up this confusion. Narcissists are not confused. And if they are, you are not going to be able to clear that confusion up for them. Like I just said, if they're already convinced of something about you, there's nothing you can say to clear that up. And there's no confusion that you're going to clear up for them. And most of the time, they are not confused. They heard what you said very clearly. There's nothing wrong with their hearing. There's nothing wrong with their comprehension, unless they have some completely separate problem from narcissism. There's nothing wrong with their memory. There's nothing wrong with the way that their brain perceives reality as far as their five senses go. It's just when it hits their emotions, they misinterpret everything because of how it affects them emotionally. And there's nothing you're going to do. There's nothing you can do to clear that up. Talking to them is only going to confuse you. Another reason you can't talk to narcissists is because you have different motives. When you feel compelled to go have a talk with a narcissist, to talk things out, you are approaching it from the perspective of thinking that you have similar motives, assuming that you care about the relationship and they care about the relationship as well. You care about their feelings and they care about yours. You're assuming these things, and you're assuming that you want the same things out of life. You're assuming that both of you want a healthy relationship. You're assuming that both of you want communication, that both of you want peace and possibly compromise, that both of you have reasonable empathy for each other, that both of you want both of you to be somewhat happy and satisfied with whatever you work out, whatever solutions that you come up with. But when you're dealing with a narcissist, you are dealing with somebody that has completely different motives and values, somebody that cares about things that are completely different from the things you care about. And this can really get us into a lot of trouble when we don't realize that we are dealing with someone that does not care about the relationship, that does not care about your feelings at all, that does not care about peace and compromise, absolutely doesn't want clear communication. You're dealing with someone that doesn't want a healthy relationship. You're dealing with somebody that actually prefers drama and chaos to peace. Narcissists are usually kind of bored by peace and harmony. They don't care about that. They don't want that. Narcissists only care about controlling the situation, controlling your perception, controlling everything and everyone in their life. And they thrive on chaos and drama, especially if they can twist things around to make them look like the good guy. You know, if they can cause chaos and drama and then come in and save the day, that's great for them. They don't care about the consequences of the chaos and drama that they've caused. They just care about how it made them look good, and it's a win-win for them. That's great. So when you talk to a narcissist, you're talking to somebody that doesn't care about the things you're trying to communicate to them, not in the way that you think that they should. If you are telling them, hey, when you did X, Y, and Z, it really hurt my feelings. It really made me feel bad about myself. You might be assuming that they would think, oh, I don't want to hurt this person. Wow, I better think about that in the future. But in reality, you're dealing with somebody that's probably thinking something more along the lines of, oh, good, that's good to know that when I did that, it hurt this person. So it's good to know that that's effective. That's an effective way to manipulate this person and punish this person if I'm ever upset with them. So I'm glad they shared that information with me. Obviously, if that's the case, this isn't a person that you want to talk to. This isn't a person you want to share information with or try to communicate with, because they don't have the same goals as you, the same values, and they don't want the same things out of life. Narcissists want pain, chaos, confusion, and above all, they want control, which also means they want to control the conversation. So they don't really want you talking about whatever it is you wanted to talk about. They want to control the narrative. This is why most narcissists talk at you. You can't really have conversations with narcissists. Your input into the conversation will be very minimal, and it will only be listened to if they can use it to somehow segue into something else that they wanted to talk about that makes them look smart or whatever it is they want to look like. They talk at you, not with you, and that's really a hallmark of narcissism. That's something that I think almost all narcissists do. They aren't interested in what you have to say, and they aren't interested in what you have to contribute to the conversation that they are controlling. Another reason that you can't talk to narcissists is that engaging with a narcissist, especially about an ongoing problem, really just gives them more power. It gives them more ability to hurt you and manipulate you. It gives them more control over the situation when you are engaging with them trying to solve a problem. It lends credibility to their point of view, and it communicates to them that they do have control and that the things that they're doing are influencing you in the way that they hope it does. They hope that you feel stressed out. They hope that the things they're doing are hurting you or influencing you in a way that's going to make you weaker and easier to control. So when you try to engage with them and you try to tell them how things are influencing you, you're really just giving them information that they're going to use against you. It's really, really tempting when someone upsets you to want to immediately text them or call them and maybe chew them out or give them a piece of your mind, thinking that that is somehow going to make you feel better and it's somehow going to have a positive effect, positive from your perspective, on what's happening. For example, let's say that you are in a romantic relationship with somebody that won't stop texting or calling his ex-girlfriend. And you've told him a million times, I'm uncomfortable when you talk to your ex-girlfriend. I don't want you communicating with your ex-girlfriend. It makes me feel weird and I don't trust her or whatever. I think it's a very, very reasonable thing for a current girlfriend to not want their boyfriend to talk to his ex-girlfriend. But, you know, a narcissist is going to come up with a million reasons of why it's okay. Like, we're just friends. Wow, you're jealous and controlling. Wow, you don't want me to have friends. Wow, you don't trust me. Whatever. They're not going to respect your boundaries. They're not going to respect the way that you feel about things. And let's say you've asked this narcissist 1,000 times to stop texting or talking to his ex-girlfriend, but he keeps doing it. If it's been a while since he's done this, and one day you find some evidence that he's again contacted his ex-girlfriend, and maybe he didn't even try to hide it, it's very, very normal and natural to want to immediately call him or confront him and just tell him how awful he is and get into a big fat argument for 3 hours about how upset you are. But when you engage with a narcissist about behavior that you've already explained to them, there is no new information that you have for them. In this example I'm giving, it's not like the narcissist doesn't know that you don't like him talking to his ex-girlfriend. There's nothing new you're going to tell him. You're angry at him. Maybe you call him some names. Well, now you're just the one with emotional problems. Now you're the one that's being reactionary and getting all mad and looking unstable. Now you're the jealous one or the controlling one, right? That's the only thing the narcissist is going to get out of a confrontation like this, is just more power and more control and more opportunities to manipulate you and more opportunities to make you look like the one with the problem. I know this kind of situation is really difficult to deal with because you're really only asking for basic, decent behavior, basic respect. You're really asking for the bare minimum. And when we are asking for something that is so basic, something that we feel is perfectly reasonable to demand, it can be really easy to fall into the trap of thinking that being reactionary and confronting this person and throwing a fit is somehow going to benefit us because we're just asking for some decent, normal, bare minimum behavior. But asking for decent, bare minimum behavior from somebody that won't give you basic, decent, bare minimum respect is a waste of time, and it only adds credibility to their side of things. It only gives them an opportunity to make you look bad. It doesn't give them any new information. They already know you don't like what they're doing. And here's the worst part of all this. When you confront a narcissist that is ignoring the things you've asked of them, you've asked this person to stop texting his ex-girlfriend. He's very clear, not confused in the slightest, that you don't like this, that you have asked him to stop. And he does it again. This moment is an opportunity for an abuse victim or somebody in a relationship with a narcissist to see how things are. And it's really hard to let go of the urge to try to fix it, to try to make this person be decent, to try to make this person give you the bare minimum of respect. But this is not a moment in which you now have to jump into action and fix this. This is a moment that you are being shown what you have. This is the person you're with. This guy will not do what you've asked. This guy will not stop texting his ex-girlfriend. Period. It's not going to happen. This is not a moment where you need to go talk to the narcissist. This is a moment where you need to decide if you're going to stay in a relationship with somebody that won't stop texting his ex-girlfriend, or if you're going to leave. There's nothing left to talk about with this person in this example I'm giving. And when you go to the narcissist and you start arguing and getting upset, what you're really saying to them, or what they are hearing you say, is, hey, I really hate that you're doing this. This really bugs me. It really bothers me that you keep doing this. I don't like it, but I'm not going to do anything about it. I'm not going to leave. And you can keep doing it indefinitely. And all I'm going to do is complain. So whatever. That's what they're hearing. And the more you complain and the more upset you get, the more opportunity they have to try to present you as the unstable one. This is a no-win situation. And if you choose to stay with somebody that won't stop texting his ex-girlfriend, I know this is the best example I could think of. If you choose to stay with somebody that won't listen to you, that is doing whatever they want to do, and they have shown you that this is what they're going to do regardless of what you say. If you're in a relationship like that and you choose to stay, you need to accept that whatever awful thing they're doing is something they are going to continue doing, and you're not going to be able to talk them out of it. You're not going to be able to communicate out of it. They don't care that this is hurting your feelings, which goes back to what I was saying earlier. They don't care if it's unhealthy for the relationship. They don't care about these things. They don't have the same motives you do. They don't want a happy, healthy relationship. They want their ego fortified. They want their ego built up. They want proof that they're important and relevant. What better proof for this specific example? What better proof could this guy have of he being the most important person on earth when he's got an ex-girlfriend that won't stop communicating with him, an ex-girlfriend that just can't get over him? Well, that's great. And now he's got a current girlfriend that won't leave him, even though he keeps communicating with this ex-girlfriend. And not only that, the current girlfriend is really upset and jealous because, well, obviously she can't get enough of him either. This is great for him. This is a great situation where his ego is just getting really boosted. I mean, this is wonderful for him. And the more upset you get, the more you're reinforcing this behavior and making him feel great about what's going on. And this is why if you're stuck in this kind of situation, you can't talk about it to the narcissist. You really have to just make a choice for yourself. And one more thing I want to talk about as far as why you can't talk to narcissists is how when a narcissist offends you or hurts your feelings or does something that makes you uncomfortable, you can't communicate with them. I mentioned this in my last video. You can't talk to a narcissist and say, hey, when you said that thing you said, or you did that thing you did, when you texted your ex-girlfriend, it really made me uncomfortable. I would really like it if you didn't do that. I don't like that. You can't have that conversation with a narcissist. If you're with a normal, healthy person that has the same kind of motives that you do and wants similar things out of life and cares about your feelings, you should be able to say, hey, when you're texting your ex-girlfriend, it makes me feel really uncomfortable. And they will actually care about that. And they might sit and talk to you and work something out or explain things in a reasonable, empathetic way. And they'll hopefully just stop texting their ex-girlfriend. Or they'll come to some sort of compromise with you that actually does make you feel comfortable and confident. And you can both be happy because they care about it. But with narcissists, you can't go to them with anything that makes you feel uncomfortable or hurts your feelings because they don't care about your feelings, and now you're criticizing them. Narcissists cannot tolerate criticism. So when you're with a narcissist, you're really stuck in a relationship in which you have to just accept everything they do. Everything they say to you, every way they treat you, every disrespectful habit that they have. You have to just kind of accept it or sit and complain about it and, never be able to do anything to stop it, but just sit and waste all of your time and energy fighting about it and complaining about it. Or you can leave, but you can't communicate. You can't improve the relationship by talking to the narcissist because the narcissist will never be convinced that there's anything he or she needs to change, that any of the problems are his or her responsibility. And the narcissist is never going to want to hear about anything they've done that made you uncomfortable unless they can use it to manipulate you later, or unless they can use it to make them feel good about how powerful they are and how hung up on them you are. They like to see you frustrated and all worked up and emotional over anything that they've done. There's really no motivation for them to change their behavior in any way for your sake, for your feelings, or for the sake of the relationship. Narcissists find real communication to either be very threatening or a huge waste of time. To a narcissist, life is a poker game. They're hiding all their cards. They don't want you to know how they really feel about things. They don't want you to know exactly what they're up to, what they want. They don't want you to know what's really going on in their head. They don't want you to know what their real motives are or really anything about them. They are constantly hiding a whole hand of cards. And when you're in a relationship with somebody like that, you're probably a more open book. You probably don't realize that you're with someone that wants to hide things from you, if only to save them for a day when they might need to manipulate you or use something to control you, use something to gain the upper hand. Because life is full of constant threats to a narcissist. Narcissists don't trust people enough to communicate. They don't trust your motives. They don't trust your feelings for them. And they feel like they have to constantly hold back, misrepresent themselves, lie, manipulate, and play games through their whole life, just in case somebody's out to get them, somebody's trying to trick them, somebody's trying to gain the upper hand on them. And this is really why you can't talk to narcissists and expect anything good to happen, because life is a constant game for them where they are trying to gain the upper hand. And any conversation you have with them is just an opportunity for them to try to do that with you. It is never a situation in which they see it as an opportunity to communicate or to compromise or to actually solve any problems in a way that benefit both you and the narcissist. The bottom line is, with a narcissist, talking will never solve anything. If anything, it will only make things worse. I hope this helps. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you like this video and would like to see more like it in the future. Until next time, thanks. Bye. And let's close this out with another little look at Marshall. Hi, boo-boo. Hello, good morning. Good morning. You slept through the whole video. Aww.